So I want to make a video talking about Godot in general. I've been using it for over 6 years now, and I just want to give like a brutally honest review of everything I love and everything I don't exactly love about the game engine. Now, I have used a ton of other engines in the past. I'll put the ones I've used up on screen, but I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what I prefer in a game engine. So the first thing I really love about Godot is how quickly you can just compile your game and run it. I remember using like Unity, Unreal, Game Maker, and it just takes so long to build your game and just test it. Now, those engines have obviously improved since then because this was years ago when I used them. But in my personal experience, I found that Godot has a lot quicker of a compile time to actually like get in and test your game than other engines. Another thing I love about Godot is the community. Now, I've been making videos for about 4-ish years, but the whole time I've been using Godot, I've been really involved in the community, and you will get like that one person every now and then that is super critical, and I feel like that's the case with every single community you're a part of. But Godot specifically, it feels like 99% of the people are just super helpful, really trying to help newcomers, and it's a very easy engine, especially for like beginners, to just jump right in, get help, get started with the engine. The community is just really good around Godot. Now, last one before I get into the first con is the fact that Godot is completely free. So I know you guys all remember the drama, continuous drama with Unity and their pricing plans and all that crap. But out of the three big engines, which is Unreal, Unity, and Godot, Godot is the only one that's completely free to use, no strings attached. You can literally get into the engine, learn it for free, make an entire game for free, and sell it. You don't have any like fees for selling it. You don't need to pay a subscription, and it's extremely accessible as well. So I love the fact that literally anybody, no matter your financial situation or what tools you have, I feel like anybody can just make a game with Godot as long as you stick to it, which is really cool. So one of the things I dislike about Godot is the fact that it's not that popular yet. And I say yet because every single year we get a lot more Godot users and the community is growing really fast, but we're still kind of like that engine that's a little bit niche and no one wants to use Godot for AAA games and whatever, which makes sense. I'll get into that side of things in a bit, but there is hope because we just had Slay the Spire 2. That was a massive release that was super successful this year, and I think it's still in early access, right? But we're consistently getting more and more mainstream games that have been made with Godot, kind of putting it more on the radar of tools that you can actually use for game development, because a lot of people still see Godot as like a tool that you can't really use to develop a game, and meanwhile there are just hundreds and hundreds of great projects made in the engine that are doing just fine. So again, there's a few reasons why people think that I believe. I'll get to that in a second. But the next thing I really like about Godot is it honestly feels pretty low level. I know some people dislike this about Godot, but I've used engines in the past where, like RPG Maker, for example, it's made specifically for creating an RPG game, which is really good if you want to make an RPG game, but you can't make like a 3D game. Easily, you can obviously hack things together, but Godot seems so base level, and they don't just give you the tools to make a specific game or make a specific feature as much as a lot of other engines do. So I personally like that because I find myself creating my own implementations of different systems. It's fun because I like game development, I like coding systems, and that's fun for me. We have another con that's actually a pro now. Everyone has been saying this for years. They're like, I'll use Godot as soon as it gets an asset store, and we just got an asset store. I don't know, it was like 1 or 2 months ago, but Godot finally has a dedicated asset store. Don't quote me on this, but I believe you cannot sell things yet. I think that's planned for the near future. I guess I'd have to double check, but point is we're getting a full-blown asset store in Godot, so that's not really a con anymore. Now, I want to mention one more pro before I get into the final con, which I'll discuss, the graphics thing whenever I mention, but I really like the fact that bugs get fixed in Godot, and this kind of stems back to a problem I had with Game Maker. I used to use Game Maker back in, I want to say 2018, and I really liked the engine. It was really cool. I really honestly like the UI. Not looking back on it, it's not super logical, but it's a cool engine. I remember there was this one bug that prevented me from developing my game, and when I reported it, it was like, okay, this might get fixed in the next 2 years. And you get that with most game engines because most game engines are not open source. Most game engines have a team behind them, and the team has to prioritize specific bugs, and because the team's so small, you don't really get bugs fixed as often as you do with like an open source project like Godot. Godot. You also don't get as many interesting and unique features. So I really like the fact that if there's a bug in Godot, you can either report it and get it fixed extremely quickly, or you can just do it yourself. Like, if you have the knowledge, you have the ability to just submit your fix to the engine and it'll probably get merged in. I mean, if you do everything correctly. So I think that's like a massive pro to a game engine, and it's something you don't really see in a lot of other engines. And the last con, which I guess I'm going to end on a bad note, I didn't really plan that out. The graphics in Godot are really good, but they're still not quite there yet. If you compare graphics with some really high quality Unity games or most Unreal Engine games, Godot's graphics are just lacking a bit. Now, obviously this really only applies to 3D stuff, but I wanted to kind of mention this, but also say that I think a lot of people have that opinion about Godot. They're like, oh, the graphics suck, and I'm not going to use it for my 3D game. The graphics don't really suck. Like, they still look really good. The graphics are still great. It's a great 3D engine. It has really good lighting. You kind of just have to know how to use it. And the fact that we don't have a ton of good reps for like 3D games made in Godot kind of leaves people to wonder what Godot can actually do. So I've seen a lot of really cool examples. I'll put up Road to Vostok. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm sure all of you guys have seen it. It's a really cool looking first-person shooter game that's being developed in Godot. I believe the developer actually switched from Unreal or Unity. I can't remember which one it was. And then we also have this other cool 3D project that was made called Green Ash. This was actually in the official Godot showreel last year, which I had the pleasure of editing. And a lot of the comments were calling out how amazing it looked. Now, definitely correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's like a full game. I think it's literally just a 3D test, but I'll throw it up on screen. It does look really beautiful. So I think Godot is just a little behind in graphics. It's not bad, it's just a little behind. And as the project grows, which it is growing very rapidly, that's not going to be as much of an issue in the near future. And then because I want to end on a pro, Godot also has really cool merch. I don't see any other engine where you can get their mascot as a stuffed animal, because the Unity engine is just a logo and Unreal is just like a letter. So contrary to popular belief, the Godot logo is pretty unique, and I have it as a plushie, and that's cool. Anyways, Godot plushie gang, rise up in the comments. That's it for this video. So let me know in the comments what you agree or disagree with, or if I missed anything like super important. Huge shout out to all the channel members. All your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.